Oscar Wilde was one of many poets to find himself fixated on her. For 3,000 years, Western culture has visualized this woman as the face that launched 1,000 ships, a passive, beautiful object at the center of a total war. In the standard Homeric version of the story, she is the mortal queen of Sparta. Her elopement with a Trojan prince serves as the single spark that brings the age of heroes to a violent, monumental end. But ancient writers like Euripides and Herodotus tell a story that sounds more like a conspiracy. They claim the woman who went to Troy was actually a replica made of clouds. This is the concept of the eidolon, the phantom. While a cloud decoy sailed for Troy, the real Helen was allegedly hidden away in Egypt, spending the war in Memphis. While the Greek fleet burned Troy, the woman blamed for the carnage was thousands of miles away, entirely untouched. This fake Helen isn't just a literary quirk. It was an ancient necessity, created because her true identity in Sparta didn't fit the role of a mortal runaway. To find the real woman, we have to look at prehistoric Laconia, the rugged, primordial landscape that existed long before the city of Sparta. The kings who ruled here claimed a lineage that was literally geographical. They believed their ancestors were the river gods Eurotas and Lacedaemon. Helen's specific genealogy was even more bizarre. Legend says Zeus took the form of a swan to mate with Queen Leda, and Helen didn't enter the world through birth. She hatched from an egg. On this chart of the Spartan royal house, every other node represents a human monarch. Helen, however, appears as a glowing anomaly, a demigod living in a mortal palace. Her biological origins describe a supernatural force being tracked through human history. This divine status made her a political target from childhood. Long before she reached marriageable age, she was abducted by the Athenian hero Theseus. The response was a full-scale military invasion. Her brothers marched on Athens to retrieve her, proving she was a figure the Spartans would go to war to protect. The Oath of Tyndareus was a unique political solution. Every Greek leader swore a pact of mutual defense. If Helen were stolen again, the Greek world must mobilize. When she left for Troy, that pact snapped, and diplomatic stability collapsed. The oath proves the ancient world viewed Helen as a dangerous political catalyst, capable of pulling every king in the Mediterranean into a single terminal war. The valley of the Eurotas River served as the geographic headquarters for her active cult worship. Scholars trace the etymology of her name back to Proto-Indo-European roots for the sun or the shining light. At a site called the Platanistus, historical Spartan women performed rituals that were thousands of years old. They hung lotus crowns and silver flasks of oil on the branches of sacred plane trees in her name. Her regional influence was vast. On the island of Rhodes, she was worshipped as Helene Dendritis, a goddess of the trees, a protector of sailors, and a source of fertility. The phantom at Troy was a necessary literary invention. A worshipped deity of light could not be reduced to a mortal casualty in a poem, so the poets created a cloud replica to die in her place. The Helen of Troy we recognize today is the eidolon, the cloud decoy invented by epic poets to give their war a human face. Behind that shadow is Helen of Sparta, an autonomous goddess of light, whose cult worship actually outlived the city of Troy by centuries. As the oral tradition of the Trojan War grew, it repackaged localized rituals of tree goddesses and maritime protectors into a linear drama about kings. Recasting a sovereign deity as a mortal runaway effectively stripped her of her divine agency, turning her into a passive catalyst for a story focused on the rage and heroics of men. For thousands of years, the world has stared at the phantom of a victim, and in the process, forgot how to revere the goddess.